It's Thursday, October 31st. Happy Halloween! I'm Ian, and here's what's happening at ATown today. Thanks to everyone who came out to celebrate Halloween with Patriot Production filmmakers last night. There are some great costumes on hand, and everyone seemed to enjoy the films on screen. We'll announce the winners of the costume contest on Monday's broadcast. ATown today wants to share an early heads up for runners who want to help make a difference. Rowan's Light Foundation is a non-profit organization that raises money to support animal rights and environmental causes in our area, as well as providing academic and athletic scholarships to area students. They'll be holding a 5K here at AHS on Saturday, November 16th. Runners can register until the day of the race, and all proceeds go to Rowan's Light charitable causes. We wanted to get you in the spirit for whatever you had planned for the rest of your Halloween, so we got to thinking about a favorite October tradition, pumpkin carving. We asked a few of our teachers to share their techniques and memories of making jack-o'-lanterns in the past and the present. Take a look.
My favorite thing about carving pumpkins is the fact that it kind of brings in October, it brings in the fall. I like bringing my friends around to do it. It makes us feel young again because it's something that we did a lot as kids.
My favorite thing about carving pumpkins, I usually do it with my older sister, so that's a tradition we have, and even though we live far apart now, we still try to at some point in the year, if we get together, we carve pumpkins together, or we send each other pictures or videos of the process.
My favorite thing about carving pumpkins, believe it or not, is getting the slimy guts and seeds like in my hands, and because it's like brains and stuff, and I like that. Like, it's fun.
I think it's creative and it's meditative and it's ephemeral. You know, they're gonna rot eventually, and it's just kind of a seasonal thing. You only ever do it in October, and just fun to see what the result will look like.
I think one of the oldest pumpkins I remember making, I saved all the pumpkin seeds and I put them in a Ziploc bag. So my carved pumpkin was throwing up, and the pumpkin seeds in the Ziploc were coming out of the mouth, and he was going bleh. And that was one of my favorites.
I usually do it pretty simple. So the first step, cut out the top. I do a quick sketch of what I think the face will look like, and then just carve out the guts. Usually my best friends hate doing the guts, so I clean everyone's guts for them, and then the more artistic people actually do the cool design.
So I hollow it out with a spoon, and you gotta really get the walls of the pumpkin totally degooped. And then I use a linoleum cutter, which is a special tool that has kind of like a C-shaped little blade. And before I do that, I find a design I like, and I will often trace it by pricking around the edge of the design, so it almost creates like a connect the dots. So I trace the design, and then I use the linoleum cutter to very carefully carve out the parts I want. So I don't carve all the way through the pumpkin. I peel the skin off so that when it's lit, it glows through.
So my pumpkin carving technique involves finding a source photo of whatever I'm inspired to draw that year. Last year it was a possum that was just screaming. I would then use a pencil or a Sharpie to draw on the pumpkin kind of a rough draft of the lines that I'm looking to carve. And once I'm happy with how that looks in pencil, I will start taking I think it's like wood cutting tools to like shave the lines.
Psychotic. Basically, I just kind of go at the pumpkin like with the, you know, and just whatever happens. Maybe there'll be eyes, maybe there'll be one eye, maybe there'll be one eye and like a giant scar across the nose, like just what, you know, it's pretty random. I just kind of throw myself at the pumpkin and see what happens.
Yeah, so my dad would always take charge of that, and he's just kind of he was like, grew up on the farm, and it was all pretty rough, so, you know, he just carved very crudely, you know, like nothing fancy, you know, it was just like triangle eyes, triangle nose, and then just like a rough mouth with maybe a couple of teeth sticking out. And that was pretty much it. We'd carve a lot of them. It was a big deal. A lot of times we take the seeds out and we would roast them in the oven with salt, and then you could eat all those pumpkin seeds, which was pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good, right? Right? Thank you.
Yep. On the candy corn.
And now, here's Christoph with sports.
Last night, the field hockey team did something that they haven't done all season after recording 5 straight shutouts against Jefferson District opponents. The Patriots gave up 3 goals, but they scored 6, beating James River Midlothian 6-3 to move on to the regional final match. That match will take place on Wednesday. We'll let you know where and against whom as soon as we have the details. The volleyball team looks to rack up some honors of its own as it wraps up the regular season on the road tonight at Western. If you're planning to drive across the county for that one, JV starts at 5:30, followed by varsity at 7. And remember that Friday is our final home football game of the year. One more time to turn out and get loud for your Patriots. They'll be hosting Louisa, and that game kicks off at 7. We'll have more to get you ready for what matchup tomorrow on the Sports Update. The HSA's Patriots Cheer Squad is holding trials for winter cheer teams from November 11th to 14th at 4:30 in the Big Gym. Registration for your tryout spot is open now. Look for the QR code at the HS Cheer Instagram page. That's all for now. Have a safe and spooky Halloween. Save us some candy and we'll see you tomorrow on ATown Today.